Welcome back to another exciting update about Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 2. There has been a lot happening lately, and some of it is honestly wild. Most fans have already seen the clip where Ross Duffer jokingly pushes Steve off the desk and says that's how the season ends. It was clearly meant as a joke, but it definitely got people talking. On top of that, we've received a couple of new teaser clips, and once again, Noah Schnapp almost gave away more than he probably should have. It's honestly crazy how close we are to the release of Volume 2. At this point, it almost feels like it's overshadowing the holidays. The anticipation is huge, and rewatching Volume 1 before the new episodes drop feels almost mandatory. There's so much coming up, and the upcoming breakdowns are going to be important for anyone who wants to catch every detail. One of the biggest moments worth discussing happened on the Fallon Show. After being interviewed, the Duffer Brothers were asked to arrange character figures in a way that would hint at how the rest of the story unfolds. Surprisingly, this turned out to be one of the clearest teases we've ever gotten about Volume 2. Even though Stranger Things is carefully scripted and the Duffers love to play with audience emotions, there seems to be real meaning behind how those figures were placed. They started by grouping Max, Holly, and Derek together, which strongly suggests that when we return to Kamazatz, Derek and the other children will join Holly at the Creel house. This lines up perfectly with what we saw in the new clips. Nancy was also placed with them, hinting that she may be the one who enters Kamazatz to help the children escape. Things got even more interesting when Will's figure was stacked beneath Vecna. That single visual says a lot. It strongly suggests that Will be central to the biggest revelations in Volume 2. The creators have promised answers, and this arrangement feels like a major clue. Questions that fans have had for years are finally coming to the surface. Why is Will different? What is the true nature of the Upside Down, and how was it created? And why are Will and Henry Creel so deeply connected? One shocking detail that adds to this theory is that Henry Creel and Will share the same birthday. This can't be a coincidence. It points toward Will being used as a bridge. Vecna appears to be gathering children in Hawkins to use them as vessels for the Mind Flayer's plan. The idea seems to be using the combined power of 12 children to open a massive gate, essentially a wormhole. This concept was explained all the way back in Season 1, when Mr. Clark talked about how creating a portal would require an impossible amount of energy. But if that energy comes from multiple children empowered by the Mind Flayer, suddenly it becomes possible. This could allow travel across space and time, raising the terrifying possibility that Henry Creel might attempt to change the past. At the same time, the Mind Flayer could finally achieve its long-standing goal of fully entering the human world and conquering it. New footage also shows Vecna physically connected to a monstrous entity, keeping the children's bodies alive, similar to what happened to Will in Season 1. With this new stacking imagery, it seems likely that Vecna and the Mind Flayer will try to reclaim control over Will and use him as the final piece needed to complete the bridge. Joyce's placement next to Will suggests she'll be fighting harder than anyone to save him, bringing the story full circle back to the emotional core of Season 1. What's surprising, though, is how quickly Joyce seems willing to risk Will's safety by encouraging him to use his new powers, even though no one truly understands the danger. There's a growing belief among the characters that Will might be even stronger than 11. That's a bold assumption, and a dangerous one. We've never seen 11 take on multiple Demogorgons at once, yet Will is suddenly being treated like the ultimate weapon. 11's placement in a container of water is much more straightforward. It clearly signals that she'll be fighting from the void again, just like before. Everything about her setup mirrors the sensory deprivation tanks used in earlier seasons. Erica's positioned high above the others suggests she'll continue acting as a lookout, keeping watch from above. Meanwhile, Mike, Dustin, and Lucas staying together feels like a return to the heart of the series. Dustin's emotional moments hint that he'll finally confront everything he's been avoiding. The most shocking moment, however, involved Steve. Being placed on the very edge and then falling felt too intentional to ignore. While it's hard to believe they would actually kill him off, it does suggest that Steve will face serious danger, possibly ending Volume 2 on a major cliffhanger. Recent cast interviews added even more fuel to the fire. Noah Schnapp nearly revealed that Will's powers don't function like Eleven's at all. Unlike Eleven, whose abilities come from experiments tied to Henry Creel's blood, Will's powers are directly connected to the Mind Flayer itself. That makes them stronger, but also far more dangerous. The creators have promised answers, and the Duffers have hinted that Will can tap into the hive mind and access Vecna's abilities, which opens the door for Vecna to regain control over him. This connection could be devastating. By the end of the interviews, it became clear that Season 5, Volume 2 will be the most emotional chapter of the entire series. Scenes of loss, sacrifice, fear, and desperation are everywhere. Will is in constant danger, Max's fate is still uncertain, and the group is being pushed to its breaking point. Everything points to Volume 2 being intense, heartbreaking, and unforgettable. The story is coming full circle, and nothing will ever be the same after it ends. Let me know in the comments what theories or videos you'd like to see as we approach the release of Volume 2, and share this with your fellow Stranger Things fans so we can break it all down together. See you soon in the next video.